Coming up on Valley View News. Protesters march in solidarity against recent attacks on Asian Americans. Plus, Los Angeles International Airport gets an increase in travelers over spring break. Health officials weigh in. And we visit a shelter that helps LA's homeless get back on their feet.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Sophia Lesios.
And I'm Casey Contreras in the Digital Media Center.
Asian hate crimes have risen during the pandemic. There are recent reports of attacks against Asian Americans throughout Southern and Northern California. The watchdog group called Stop AAPI Hate has kept track of all the violent incidents against Asian Americans. Hundreds showed up to the Stop Asian Hate candlelight vigil in Alhambra. Congresswoman Doris Matsui says there has been a lot of hostility directed at the API community.
There is a systemic problem here, and we are duty-bound to stop the spread of xenophobic and racist ideas that have escalated to physical threats.
Many Asian Americans say that they won't back down, and it's time to speak up. President Joe Biden said it's everyone's job to come together and stop hate and violence against Asians.
A Milton, Georgia church removed the suspected spa shooter from its membership Sunday morning. Robert Aaron Long was arrested Tuesday night in connection with the deaths of 8 people at 3 spas. 6 of the victims were Asian women. The Crabapple First Baptist Church said in a statement that Long and his family were members for many years. The church put a statement on its website. It also had additional information about the shooting. So far, Long is charged with 4 counts of murder.
The Astrazeneca vaccine has proven to be 79% effective in U.S. trials. The British drug manufacturer hasn't identified any safety concerns. The U.S. has yet to approve the vaccine. AstraZeneca says it'll have 30 million doses ready by the start of April. In all, 300 million doses are pledged to the United States. Meanwhile, LA County has seen a significant decrease in COVID-19 cases. It's averaged 590 new cases a day. That's 62% drop in 2 weeks. COVID-19 hospitalizations have also dropped nearly 33%. With help from the vaccine, Los Angeles is moving closer to the less strict orange tier for reopening businesses.
Traveling significantly declined last year as millions of Americans quarantined to help flatten the curve. Reporter Kimberly Linares spoke to 2 recent travelers about how safe they felt during their trip.
Public health officials are still warning people not to travel, but the availability of vaccines is tempting many to take trips. The Los Angeles International Airport has seen an increase in traffic.
Very scared. But once I saw everything that they were doing, it made me feel a lot better.
Some travel for leisure or work, while others are rushing to destinations hoping to comfort families who have lost loved ones.
My grandpa passed a few months ago, and we were just waiting on passports and for COVID to go down, like the numbers go down a bit over there, because over there it was a bit high.
The airlines tend to follow CDC guidelines differently. Upgraded Points is a website that provides information on airline policy changes related to COVID-19.
As you entered, going and coming back, they gave you like a little bag with hand sanitizer, a little hand sanitizer, like wipes. It's like a little packet with 2-3 wipes.
If you plan to travel in the upcoming weeks by yourself or with your family, remember to take the precautions necessary to stay safe. Reporting from LAX for Valley View News, I'm Kimberly Linares.
Miami Beach is overwhelmed with spring breakers. They continue to disobey the 8 p.m. curfew rules. Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber says that too many people aren't following the rules. That's resulting in chaos and disorder. Police officers shot pepper spray balls to manage the rioting crowds. Gelber compared the scene to a rock concert, saying that there are too many people on the beach.
With this many people coming, we have sort of a triple threat of too many crowds, too many people acting out, and a pandemic. And those 3 together just create a very challenging moment.
Miami Beach commissioners voted to extend the curfew to April 12th.
New guidelines for California classrooms mean students can now sit 3 feet apart instead of 6. The CDC still advises students and teachers to wear masks and take other precautions. Teachers joined in reopening LAUSD schools for in-person instruction. A deal requires vaccination access for school staff and waiting for LA County to drop below the purple tier. Preschools and elementary schools might reopen in the middle of April. Middle and high schools might reopen by the end of April.
Homelessness is visually apparent throughout LA County. Our reporter Savannah Birchfield spoke with San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission to see what they offer to anyone living on the streets.
Los Angeles County saw a 12.7% rise in homelessness in 2020. More than 66,000 people are displaced. The San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission gives food and a clean place to stay for those who are struggling.
We're actually a 90-bed homeless shelter. We service men, women, children, and families.
The rescue mission has a living room, cafeteria, playground, and more to make people feel welcome.
Our guests that live here, this is actually their home, so we try and make it as home-like as we can.
The ACLU says that 46% of homeless women have stayed in harmful relationships in order not to live on the streets. The mission offers support to those who have been abused.
They can either speak to somebody virtually or possibly go into an office to seek some type of counseling.
Shelter residents are also given a chance to get back on their feet.
We will provide them resources to get them back to work, develop a budget and a savings account.
The nonprofit also takes precautions to keep guests at a lower risk for COVID-19.
We will actually quarantine them in our duplexes for a 14-day period.
These are some of the beds available in the temporary shelter of San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission. Reporting for Valley View News in Northridge, I'm Savannah Birchfield.
A 14th juror was selected in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. He's charged in the death of George Floyd. The juror is a social worker in her 20s who thinks there should be police reform. She says she always looks at both sides of an issue and described the importance of police work. Her selection nearly completes the jury panel ahead of next week's opening statements. The judge wants 15 jurors with 3 alternates, but court rules can allow 2 more jurors to be chosen.
The IRS says a new batch of stimulus checks come out on March 24th. The checks began processing on Friday. The Treasury Department says some payments may even be available earlier. People who don't receive payments by direct deposit should be watching for checks in the mail during the next few weeks. The agencies didn't say how many checks are in the second disbursement. The first round included 90 million payments totaling to more than $242 billion. Those eligible for payments can receive up to $1,400 per person, plus $1,400 per child and adult dependent. People who don't normally file tax returns are encouraged to do a 2020 tax return in order to claim their payment.
The Supreme Court will consider reinstating the death sentence for the Boston Marathon bomber Jahar Tsarnaev. The justice agreed to hear an appeal filed by the Trump administration before he left office. It's unclear how the Biden administration will handle Tsarnaev's case. Biden says he wants to end the federal death penalty, but there's no clear plan on how he'll do that. Last July, a Boston federal appeals court threw out Tsarnaev's death sentence. It said the trial judge didn't do enough to ensure the jury wouldn't be biased.
College of the Canyons professor Jeremy Patridge started producing videos for his YouTube channel during the COVID-19 pandemic. Valley View News reporter Sammy Fernandez followed him on an out-of-the-field trip at Fossil Falls.
COVID-19 forced many professors to teach from home. But Professor Jeremy Patridge is an adventuring soul. For him, teaching geography and geology on a computer screen isn't enough.
If I'm talking about a mountain or a volcano, I can talk about it. But if I can say, now we're standing at a volcano, that's so much more efficient and effective. So I thought, well, shoot, I'm just going to start making videos.
COVID-19 didn't stop him from getting out in the field. Instead, it gave him more determination to share his passion online with his students and with the world. Today's destination is Fossil Falls. It's the location of a cinder cone extinct volcano. Professor Petrich explains that the volcano erupted thousands of years ago. It inundated the area with basalts. Basalts are an extrusive igneous rock formed from the rapid cooling of lava.
There is like a guilty pleasure of just being able to come out here, beautiful weather, and to just experience nature. I mean, as you can see, there's no one else out here.
He gets help from Nikki Van Broekhuizen, a videographer. She produces and edits his videos. She said before working with Professor Petrich, she never thought she would be able to retain scientific information as a film major.
Why are they here? Why does it look like this? Driving through the desert, I would just think, oh, this is kind of just like flat sand. Now I look and I go, oh, look, that's definitely a volcano. Like, I think he's really opened my eyes.
This one cooled the slowest.
Some students struggle with online learning. Kristen Sloat says the professor's videos show his passion in a way that can't be experienced in a Zoom class or through reading a textbook.
Out in the field.
It was hands-on experience, even though my hands weren't on the experience, as to what is going on and the processes that occur in creating all of these environments that we see.
It's not just geographic or geologic, it was also cultural.
Professor Petrich's goal during this pandemic is to make online learning fun and accessible to all. He posts videos about nature, artifacts, and traveling on his YouTube channel, Jeremy Petrich. Reporting from Fossil Falls, I'm Sammy Fernandez.
More to come on Valley View News. The Homeland Security Secretary speaks about immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border. And investors are buying stocks to help save the movie theater industry.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Let's go to Studio B, where Lizeth Seja updates on changes to the U.S. immigration policy and other events that's happening around the world.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas defended President Biden's immigration strategy in multiple interviews. Mayorkas did say the southern border is closed, but the Biden administration continues to face criticism.
We will not abandon our values and our principles. We will not abandon the needs of vulnerable children. That is what this is all about.
Biden is reversing Trump's policy of expelling unaccompanied minors at the border. Critics say the policy change will encourage more people to come. They also say the White House isn't prepared for a humanitarian crisis. Dozens of immigration agents stood on the Mexican side of the Xochiate River Sunday. The heavy presence of border agents is meant to enforce Mexico's new limits on immigration from Guatemala. Mexico is limiting all but essential travel. The last time Mexico limited traveling in this area was a little more than a year ago. The government says the measure will slow down the spread of COVID-19, but others see it as a way to control illegal migration. The British royal family is considering hiring a chief in charge of diversity. The family wants to improve diversity in its ranks. The announcement comes a few weeks after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, told Oprah Winfrey that a member of the royal family had concerns about their child's skin color. A royal source says they're working towards being more diverse and have been doing so for some time now. All of the royal family reportedly supports the diversity initiative, but a plan is yet to be confirmed. Brazil is struggling to contain a nationwide surge in coronavirus infections. The health ministry reports 79,000 new cases and about 2,400 additional COVID-19 deaths. Sao Paulo State Governor Ncaa Tournament imposed a 2-week lockdown earlier this month, shutting down non-essential businesses and services.
We have already tripled the number of ICU beds, and this month we will open 12 field hospitals in the state of São Paulo.
Brazil's president is facing backlash over his poor handling of the pandemic. Brazil holds the second highest tally for COVID-19 infections in the world after the US. The government tweeted that it has been discussing the importation of surplus vaccines from the US. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden's administration said it would give 2.5 million doses of Astrazeneca's COVID-19 vaccine to Mexico and 1.5 million other doses to Canada. Turkey has abandoned an international pledge to help protect women. The move caused protests to erupt in the country. The international accord was in place to prevent, prosecute, and eliminate domestic violence. In Istanbul, people gathered for a demonstration and shouted, "You'll never walk alone." Turkish conservatives argue that the pact undermines family values and promotes homosexuality. I'm Lisette Ceja, back to Studio A.
The GameStop frenzy has opened a door for at-home investors, and they now have their eyes on AMC theaters. Our reporter Caitlin Cook shares how stock investments may save theaters during the pandemic.
An internet forum known as Our Wall Street Bets has created a fuss in the stock trading world. The infamous GameStop short squeeze has turned ordinary people into retail investors. Some of these investors have got their eyes on another stock, AMC Entertainment.
AMC was like $15, and they were saying AMC is in the same ballpark. And I'm like, you know what? I can afford an AMC stock right now.
AMC announced last October that they were nearly bankrupt. On January 27th, the hashtag SaveAMC movement helped raise the stock price by around 300%. But does this actually help AMC? Investment advisor Lucas Rogers weighed in.
Having everyone on your side, pumping cash into your business or your corporation, usually can do nothing but help in a lot of ways.
The stock value has since been going down. Some investors are confident that the stock value will increase after the pandemic. This comes from a belief that movie theaters are far from dead.
There's thousands and thousands of other people who want to see films like that on the big screen. So AMC is going to survive regardless of what Wall Street thinks.
Market researchers predict that the GameStop and AMC movements represent only the beginning of similar frenzies among stock market amateurs. For Valley View News, I'm Caitlin Cook.
Former President Donald Trump will return to social media with a new platform. Spokesman Jason Miller tells Fox News that Trump's very own platform will launch in the next few months. Miller says the service will completely redefine the game. The former president has been working with numerous companies on the project. No further details were announced. Trump is still suspended from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media accounts because of the January 6th attack on the Capitol, which resulted in 5 deaths. Twitter says they'll begin seeking public input on how to handle their bans on world leaders, and if public leaders should be held the same rules as others, users.
DoorDash will begin delivering same-day at-home COVID-19 testing kits. The kits will be ordered directly through the company's app. The service will be available in several major U.S. cities. There are 2 kits being offered. One is with Vault Health, which is a saliva test done over Zoom. The other is a self-administered nasal swab test. Both kits received emergency authorization from the FDA. DoorDash plans to expand this service to more U.S. cities in the coming months.
Krispy Kreme is giving away free donuts for anyone who has been vaccinated for COVID-19. The giveaway lasts until the end of the year. The freebie is available at all locations nationwide. Customers must show a valid COVID-19 vaccination card. No purchase is necessary. The goal of the Swede incentive is to encourage people to get their shots. Chief Marketing Officer Dave Skina says the promotion is long-term because the company wants people to have a chance to take advantage of the deal. The company hopes that this big promotion would catch people's attention and encourage them.
The pandemic has forced many people to stay in their homes with little to do. Foot golf is a unique sport that opens the door for people to have fun safely. Our reporter Ayana Applin-Kettles explains how the sport can be a good way to get out of the house.
Foot golf combines soccer and golf.
It started in the Netherlands and made it to the States in 2012. Ariel Fraserman is the chief birdie officer for the organization Foot Golf San Diego. He says this unique sport is a safe way to get out of the house during a pandemic.
Golf became really popular. A lot of people started playing golf because it was one of the few things you could do outside and have social distance. And foot golf as well has proved that way. Too hard.
The pandemic makes getting out of the house and staying safe difficult. That's especially true for children. Monique Konovlov is a mother of 2 boys. She struggled finding things to do with them, especially on their birthdays.
Well, I was researching golf because I figured we needed something outdoors, and then I just happened to stumble upon foot golf, and I looked it up and it sounded perfect.
This sport isn't common, but it's a way to get out of the house and interact with people safely. It's also a way to get in some exercise. Ethan Monzon spent his 10th birthday playing foot golf. He says more people should play.
I think it'd be fun mixing soccer and golf together.
Foot golf is a growing sport that can be enjoyed by everyone safely. Call your local golf course and set up a tee time. Reporting from San Diego for Valley View News, this is Ayana Aplon-Kettles.
When we come back, a group of California moms unite to keep public parks clean, and how golf courses are staying safe now, with the sport's growing popularity. Stay with us.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that? This one? No. Were you texting and driving again? Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Sunday's March Madness was filled with upsets, starting with Loyola Chicago eliminating top seed Illinois. Loyola Chicago head coach Porter Moser says he wanted his team to enjoy the moment.
I wanted them to enjoy that moment. Our fans were still there. We haven't had fans all year, and they didn't want to leave.
Underdogs number 11 seed Syracuse, number 15 Oral Roberts, and number 12 Oregon also made it to the Sweet 16. The 2021 NCAA tournament has been unpredictable through its first 4 days. Another double-digit seed will advance on Monday as the tournament moves into its second weekend.
The Los Angeles Rams announced that they reached a 1-year deal with wide receiver Deshaun Jackson. The last 2 seasons, Jackson played in Philadelphia. This isn't the first time working with Rams head coach Sean McVay. Jackson is a Los Angeles native who attended high school in Long Beach before continuing his career.
The NFL announced on Monday that fans and prospects will be allowed at the 2021 draft. The NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will be announcing the pick from the stage on Cleveland April 29th through May 1st. Any additional draft prospects will participate remotely. A draft theater will serve as a view zone for those invited and will be required to wear a face mask and social distance. In a way to promote the COVID-19 vaccine, the NFL will prioritize fully vaccinated guests to have front row seat access.
Because of the pandemic, people have started to take up golf. The sport has attracted crowds of people to golf courses and driving ranges all over Southern California. Valley View reporter Adam Roman found out how Knollwood Golf Course is following safety protocols.
Many people have started new hobbies during the pandemic. Taking up golf has been one of the most popular. The sport has its benefits. People can play while following safety protocols. Knollwood Golf Course manager Glenn Melnaic says he feels safe while working during the pandemic.
No one can come in here without a face mask. I wear a face mask, and that makes me feel pretty safe.
Management says everyone's safety at Knollwood Golf Course is prioritized, but unfortunately it has become very crowded at the driving range. Also, there aren't enough golfing mats to ensure that people keep a social distance. Customer Cheyenne Chandiram says getting a mat is tough.
You have to get kind of lucky. I've been here a couple times the past couple of weeks, and I've had to actually return my ticket because I wasn't able to find a spot after walking around for like half an hour.
Knollwood Golf Course says it's tried to follow safety protocols. It's even closed off some areas, like the chipping and putting greens, to avoid players getting too close to each other.
Up until you tee off on the first hole, separated people out in the driving range, no putting or chipping.
Knollwood Golf Course will continue to take safety protocols so its customers can practice their golf game at the driving range
or on the golf course. Reporting in Granada Hills for Valley View News, I'm Adam Roman.
Kylie Jenner faced criticism after asking her 200 million Instagram followers to donate to the GoFundMe page for her friend Samuel Rauda. Rauda was in an accident and underwent major surgery this month. Details of the accident are unknown. Social media users slammed Jenner for not paying the bills herself. The initial goal was $10,000. Now the page wants $120,000. Jenner is worth hundreds of millions.
Dr. Fauci is the star of a new children's book. The book is called Dr. Fauci, How a Boy from Brooklyn Became America's Doctor. The story will feature Fauci and his strong ties to medicine. It will also discuss the COVID-19 vaccine. The story, written by Cade Messner and illustrated by Alexandra Bai, will be released on June 29th.
Matthew McConaughey hosted the virtual Weird Texas benefit concert. The 2-hour concert was put on to raise money for the Texas winter storm victims. McConaughey partnered with the Just Keep Living Foundation to host the event. The concert featured performances by Kelly Clarkson, Khalid, Miranda Lambert, and Kirk Franklin. It also included special messages from today's biggest stars, including Megan Thee Stallion, Selena Gomez, Jamie Foxx, and Kevin Durant. All the donations raised will support the state's critical needs due to Winter Storm Yumi. The event is available to stream on YouTube.
A group of moms known as trail mothers spends hours every week picking up trash on public trails. Our reporter Mohammed Assad spoke with founder Kristen Hernandez to see what inspires her to keep the parks clean.
Trail Mothers was founded by Kristen Hernandez and her 8-year-old son Liam Anderson. Each week they spend hours keeping the historic Stony Point Park clean. Kristen says a constant buildup of trash won't keep her away from trying to keep the park clean.
The biggest challenge is the repeated trash, the repeated vandalism that is happening at our park, but that's not going to stop me.
Residents like Angela Luton, who lives the area, want people to dump the garbage into the trash cans.
Whenever you're here, you should try to pick up any trash you see. There's a lot of trash cans. You can just pick it up.
Doing this cleanup is a lot of hard work. There's no government support either, so there are lots of challenges for trail mothers. Kristen says even with these difficulties, she won't give up cleaning and preserving the park.
We don't want to give up. We want to keep going, and we want to prevent this.
Trail mothers plan to expand their queue and continue with their movement, keeping the popular hiking spots clean in Los Angeles. This is Mohammed Asad reporting from Northridge.
Imagine getting paid $10,000 in a month to live at a winery. Well, that dream can come true. Murphy Good Winery in Sonoma announced a year position with its team. The working position come with a hefty check and a paid living, but there's only one spot available. The company will evaluate candidates based on the video explaining why this is their dream job. The application is open now until June 31st.
That's all for us at Valley View News. I'm Casey Contreras.
And I'm Sophia Lesios. For stories any time of the day, go to our website, sundial.csun.edu. Thanks for watching.